Today we have a major transformation from this to this, so let's get it. So let's get right into it. We're gonna come in with our clipper closed and establish our bald line. Now we're gonna do this all throughout the head. And now right above that clipper closed, we're gonna go all the way open, going up about a finger's width here. And we're gonna do this all around the head as well. But for the sake of the video, I'm gonna do one side and then the other, just because it makes it easier, you know, when recording. So again, I'm going lever all the way open. Now to get rid of that line in between, I closed it halfway, and I'm just gonna inch up slowly. And then when halfway doesn't do the job, we'll close the lever even a little more until we get this line blended out. And as you can see, it's already starting to you know, get blended out. So now I'm just playing with the levers, seeing what works and what doesn't, tapping at that line and then opening it as I go up. And we're just working, trying to get it as blended out as we can. And right above that, we'll have the one guard lever all the way open, still going up about a finger's width here. And in this case, you know, we didn't do a drop fade, we're doing a straight front to back fade. So it's pretty simple, really easy. Make sure that you're brushing as you establish your guidelines to make sure that it's truly a one guard open. And now to get rid of that line in between, I'm going to come in with my half guard lever all the way open. And I'm going to attack that line, right? And when I see that the open isn't doing the job, I'll go ahead and close it as needed until we get that line blended out. So we're about halfway right here. And now we're going to close it all the way. And as we continue to work at that line and play with that lever, you can see the line start to get blended out very nicely. And for those of you guys who have been asking what guards that I'm using, these are the Marty Blend guards. Shout out Marty Blendz for the blessing. Now right above that one guard open, we're going to grab our two guard lever all the way open. And we're going to go up about a little more. And we're not really establishing a line with the two guard open. What you want to do is flick out as much as possible. You know, it's not going to blend into the length on top perfectly, but it's going to make it a lot easier to come in with clipper over comb or shear over comb. So that is our two guard open. As you can see, it's establishing just a light line, but I'm not trying to make it too harsh. And now for the line in between, I'm going to come in 1.5, lever all the way open. And then just like we did on the other steps, we're going to close it as needed. I always come in open with the guard first and then close it, because you know, you can always take hair off, but you can't put it back on. So to be safe, I just start off open and then close it. And you can see that the 1.5 isn't really getting rid of that line fully, so I believe I come in with my one guard again. But I'm still continuing to work with that 1.5 to see if it'll get rid of it. And I realize it doesn't, so again I come in with my one guard open. And this should get rid of that line, you know, fairly easy. Now when attacking those dark spots, really using the corner of the blade helps a lot, because it allows you to go into those longer areas where you use the bigger guard. You know, it allows you to go in with the smaller guard and really detail those areas when you use the corner of the blade. So that's what I'm doing right here. I have my half guard on the lever, and you can see as we work at those dark spots, this blend is starting to look a lot more consistent. Now we're going to grab our 4 guard here with the lever all the way open. And we're trying to come off the shape of his head, right? We're not trying to give this a faux hawk shape. So I'm coming off the parietal ridge and kind of just coming up with it, trying to blend to the length on top as best as I can. And now under that 4 guard, I'm going to grab my 3 guard lever all the way open. And we're working down at this point, trying to blend into that too. And you can see how it's starting to come together. But we do need to do some cleanup work with our thinning shear. So I'm doing some shear over comb here, coming in with that comb and flaring out slightly. And you can see the fade on this side is coming out very nicely. And now we're going to come to the other side and follow that same exact system. So this is our lever all the way open. Again, a finger's width. And you're gonna notice when I fade on this side that there is a dark spot at the top of like the midsection of the right side of his head that I will have to work at towards the end of the haircut. And that's because every client has a side that's easier to fade than the other, right? And in this case, his left side was easier than the right. So I'm gonna show you guys how to attack that when, you know, one side is harder than the other. So I'm getting rid of that first line, going in closed and then opening it gradually. And YouTube fam, I really want to shout you guys out because I am super close to hitting 100k subscribers, and man, I'm super excited, right? This has been a goal of mine for a really long time, so I can't wait to hit it. I just want to thank you guys for the content support and love that you guys give me on every single video. I truly could not you know, have the success that I have without you guys, right? You guys are the eyes, you guys are the people that give me my views and likes, so I truly appreciate you guys. And when I do hit 100,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway, so make sure that you have your notification bell on for when I do hit 100k subscribers, because I'll explain how the giveaway will work. And yeah man, I think it's gonna be super exciting. So right here we're coming in with our one guard lever all the way open, and for that line right in between there, we're gonna use our half guard lever open, and like I always say, we'll move down gradually as needed. And so far, man, these Rebels that I've been using have been my go-to clipper, to be honest. I put the stretch bracket on there, so really when I go from closed to open, it transitions very well because it's really going from a 0 to a 1. So it allows me to really stretch out blends and make sure, you know, I get my fades blurry. So I would 10 out of 10 recommend the Rebels. I still use my JRLs, but I've dropped them a few times now, and I chipped the blade again, and I just haven't got around to ordering another blade, but I will be soon, so you'll see those in videos soon as well. And Gamma did bless me with the Apex, and I haven't done a review on them yet, and that's because I threw away the box. But if you guys would still like a review on the Apex clipper, drop a comment down below and let me know, and I might do a review on those as well. So we're coming in with our 2 guard here, again trying to not to make too harsh of a line. I'm coming off the shape of his head a little bit. And now for the line in between that 2 guard open and 1 guard open, I have my 1.5 guard lever open, and I'm just working at that line, trying to get it blended out as best as I can. And now we're gonna close it all the way, right? And if you want to purchase these guards that I'm using, make sure you head to martyblendz.com. These actually did come out today on June 1st. So if you guys want to cop them, make sure you go to his website and order them. They're super fire, super quality guards. I have a dark blue pair and then this light teal pair. And you know, I recommend these as well. So if you want to buy them, make sure you head to martyblendz.com, I believe. And this is that dark spot that I was telling you guys that he has on his right side right there. So I was just working at it with the 1 guard. And now this is our 4 guard lever all the way open, the biggest guard that we are going to be using. And I'm really coming off the shape of his head here, trying not to dig into it too much. And you can see when I start working with the longer hair, the top of the fade, I use my comb because I believe it features the hair better than a brush would, right? So when I'm using anything from a 1.5 or 2 down, I use my brush to brush down the hair, and then anything like above a 2, I usually use my comb. So right now I'm doing some shear over comb to really soften everything up and bring it together. And this side of the fade came out good as well. And now we're gonna move on to the back. And the reason I saved the back for last is because I found this is the connection point between the 2 sides. And what it allows me to do is make sure that both sides come to a meeting point that is even, right? Instead of starting on one side and moving to the other and risking the chance of that fade being higher and lower on one side, this allows me to make sure that the fade is consistent all the way through. And right here is our one guard lever all the way open. And now to lighten up that line in between, I didn't do this on the sides. I went ahead and closed that lever up. It's not going to get rid of it fully, but it's going to make the line a lot more faint and easier to get rid of. And now here, I'm going to have my half guard lever open. And then we'll gradually close this as needed as well. And another reason I save the back for last is because a lot of times the back requires a lot more attention to detail, and that's because, you know, it has a lot of bone structure back there and a lot of indentations that you might need to go back in detail and, you know, bring everything together. So this is our 2-guard open. Try not to dig into that crown because, you know, we want to leave enough hair there to where it lays down nicely. And now below that 2-guard open, I have my 1.5. And after we do this 1.5, it really should make this fade look finished, right? And then, you know, we would go back in detail towards the end. But I wanted to detail back a little more, so I grab my 1 guard, and we're just attacking those dark areas that make it look a little inconsistent and trying to bring everything together. And now we're going to save all the ugly work for the end, so we're going to shave off the bottom with our trimmer. Now our trimmer should blend in to where we started off with that clipper if they are 0 gap, which mines are. And now we're going to follow it up with the shaver to get it nice and close to the skin and make this haircut last. And now we're going to trim the top, so we want to go ahead and dampen the client's hair. Now in this case, my client's hair is very thin towards the front, so I don't want to cut it too short. So we're just kind of cleaning up the ends here. He didn't want off too much. I would say this is probably about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm starting in the middle, and then I move toward the left and towards the right. And since his hair is so short and so thin, I didn't really split it into sections. I'm kind of just pulling up and going back because, you know, this doesn't require a lot of sectioning work. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And you guys always ask me what shears that I use. The shears that I use aren't anything special, if I'm being honest with you. I believe I got them from a beauty supply store in Columbus, but they're not anything special, man. They're like $70 shears, which are not expensive at all. I wish I could tell you the brand, but I cannot think of the name right now. And you can see the length that we established in the middle. We're just using that as our guideline when trimming the rest of the hair. And I'm going to kind of bevel the sides a little bit, so that way it blends into the sides a little nicer and not such a harsh weight line. And now we're going to blow dry it. He wears it forward, so I want to blow dry it in the direction of which he would naturally wear it. Just trying to get it dry. Right, because especially with clients with thinning hair, a drier look makes their hair appear a lot fuller than if it was wet. So in this case, you know, I want to keep my client's hair dry. And now we're going to line up the front, right? He doesn't do too much just because the front of his hair is very thin. But what lining up the front does is give the hair the appearance that it's a lot darker than what it is. So I'm starting in the middle and then moving towards his right, trying to keep it as natural as possible. Now we're going to move towards his left. And we always want to make the lineup symmetrical, but you also want to keep it natural as you can, right? So you don't want to push it back too much. And now his corners are very light, that box area. So I am going to use my Airbrush Enhancement, which is Kiss and Alcohol Mix. And I'm going to darken that up a little bit. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do the same exact thing. And he doesn't use it in the front because he doesn't want it to look, you know, too fake. But we always darken up the edge right there. Because I just think it makes it look a little sharper. And now for his beard, he doesn't keep a really full beard. He likes there to be a deep blend into it. So we're going to bald right to the bottom of his ear. Follow it up with our shaver. And then we're going to blend into the length in his goatee area. So we're going to come in open just like a reverse taper. And then we'll come in closed and then, you know, try to blend out the line in between. Now we're going to have our 1 guard. And this is pretty much it. This pretty much blends into his beard. Now we're going to line up the bottom. Just clean it up a little bit. We don't have too much to do down there. And you can see once we put the line on here, it's gonna make his beard look a lot fuller, because as you can see, his beard isn't very dense. There's a lot of patches and light spots in it, especially since he keeps it so short. And now we're gonna come in with our razor. So when using the razor, especially in the cheek area, I like to have them blow a bubble, because it allows me to get that sharp line without, you know, pushing it down too much. And it gets rid of all those little hairs that you can't quite get if you didn't blow that bubble. Now you always want to wipe away that initial ash line and then reline it to ensure that he has a sharp line. And you can see it makes the beard look a lot better once you do line it up. And we are going to use some enhancement. So we're just going to use, this is, I believe, the Elegance, or not Elegance, level 3 hair color. So I just have it on the little, you know, brush, and then I'll put it on the line and work it in. We don't want to do too much. We want to keep it as natural as we can, although you can tell it's enhancement. And now we're going to line up the top with the razor, make it look a lot sharper. And you can see, man, this blend came together very nicely. I think all in all, this is a very nice cut with the canvas that we're working with. But family, this is the before and this is the after. If this video helps you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And like always, I will catch y'all next time.